So while we've gotten rid of one plague, or we're working on getting rid of one plague, which is injustice and systemic racism and all that. Well, we're working on trying to eradicate that. There's one other, there's one other plague, one sickness that still that still hinders us in our day to day. It still affects us in our day to day. It's still something that has affected us throughout the ages. Drug addiction. Drug addiction. You know, Kanye West once said on which one was that? Not late registration. It was the second one. Whatever. Anyway, that's actually my favorite of his albums. I can't think of the name right now. Late registration. Yeah, late registration. So at any rate, at any rate, he said in the song called "Addiction," he said, "What's your addiction? Is it money? Is it girls? Is it weed? I've been afflicted by not one, not two, but all three. Addiction. It's ruining. It's ruining the fabric of our communities. It's ruining the fabric of our country. It's ruining us at every level that you could possibly be in as a citizen, whether that be you homeless, all the way up to, I believe some people have drug problems in the White House. You know what I'm saying? In the House, the Senate, all that, Congress. I believe that there's drug addiction running rampant everywhere, and it infiltrates every every layer, and it's ugly. Life life sucks. I get it. Life sucks. Life has a lot of downs. You know, we say, well, got your ups and downs. There's a lot more downs than ups a lot of times in a lot of people's lives. In the majority of people's lives, there's way more downs. So what happens? Well, they decided to introduce opioids into the situation, decided to make that a thing. And, it's for pain. It's pain medicine, essentially. And say you fall down, break your arm, you get these pain receptors that says you hurting, but it releases stuff to say, hey, stop sending pain stuff. We get it. We know that we're hurt. We're going to go to the doctor. You go to the doctor, you get patched up. But even after you broken your ankle and it's healed, it still hurts though. So then you get subscribed painkillers. And so you feel better. But after so long, your body gets used to those painkillers and you start upping the doses. Now you take it more and more so you don't feel that pain anymore. Which causes you to get addicted to these things. You don't even know if you're actually all the way healed, but you might be, but you're just used to feeling this kind of way. And then your body gets used to that. Your brain gets used to that. And it's like, I can't really function without that stuff that you was giving me to help out. I need that to function. So that happens. But then it goes to so now that we understand what opioids and all that stuff do, what the point of it is, we get to people that maybe want to do it recreationally. Just want to feel good. Just want to feel better. Instead of therapy and things like that and dealing with issues. And I understand people have problems dealing with stuff. I do. I know I've been known to have more than my fair share of Hennessy when I'm going through something. I 100% know that. I know that and I get it. But shout out to my boy Lay Alpha. We're doing a show right after this. I can't take this phone call right now, but I will be with you. So, that being said, I get it and I understand. But we got to find a better way to stop the pain. There's people, and honestly, some of the pain, a lot of the pain is valid. Like people have gone through sexual abuse growing up, or something's happened to where maybe they lost a loved one. Uh, there's a lot. There's a lot of different reasons, and I understand why you would want to stop hurting, because hurting doesn't feel good. It doesn't. You want it to go away. Drugs aren't the way to do it. I'm not trying to be holier than thou. Trust me, because I've had more than my fair share of good times, if that's what we want to call it. But I did find out that I like something so much, there's no way that I could keep on doing it. That's my personality. If I know that it could affect my life and could possibly run how I do my thing, oh good heavens. Good heavens. I don't know what I do. I make a decent amount of money, but I could find myself losing my job for it. I could find myself not making that money anymore. I look at people that are addicted and they just find a way to make it happen. Like, drugs are not super duper cheap, but they find a way to make it happen. It's wild to think about, right? Think about the hustle that these people have and that they put into trying to obtain drugs. Think about that and how much money they'd have if they weren't going to go buy drugs. They was just hustling, what they would be able to do. That's crazy to think about. Hundreds and hundreds of dollars that you're making without having a job. You're just hustling, making money any way you can. A lot of it legally, just hustling to get back to feeling good. Use that hustle on yourself. Use that hustle to make yourself feel better without the need of all these drugs. Because let me tell you what's going on now. With these pills, see, with opioids, if you will, they come from China and all that stuff. They have to find their way over here, probably go to Mexico. Mexico comes up through California. Then that's like probably its purest form. And after that gets stepped on all the way to the east. And they use what's called fentanyl. And fentanyl is like 50 times stronger than heroin. And what they do is, so they get like, in a sense, a brick of opiates. And they say, oh, we'll make this amount of money with that. But what if we do this? Then they cut it with fentanyl. But I believe 0.25 milligrams is a lethal dose. Like if you were to take a packet of Sweet and Low and fill it with fentanyl, that would kill you. And they lace it with this stuff. But here's the kicker. What they do is they have Amazon, all this stuff, all these different places where you can replicate these pills to make them look like real pills. But they're not real pills. They're cut with fentanyl. And that's what's killing people. Going out on the streets and buying pills and buying these designer drugs, if you will, you're not getting the real thing. You're not getting over-the-counter prescription drugs. You're getting something that the homies done made way out west and put their own twist on it. You getting some stuff that maybe by the time it gets to your community, like it's gotten to mine, it's stepped on. It's been replicated. And all these cats that don't have a degree in chemistry doing stuff in a blender. Throwing stuff in a blender, making it look like a pill, and putting it out here in these streets. There are so many overdoses, it's ridiculous. And the crazy part is, and I hate to think about it, like there's people that have been on overdose, and they use this thing called Narcan, where if you're overdosing, it basically, like it's a spray that goes in your nose, and it basically makes you not high anymore. Like it takes out everything like that's attached to your brain that's making you be like, hey, be super crazy high and like not be able to function anymore. It takes all that away. Some say that it's enabling people, because I've seen people have overdosed like 17, 18 times, and they're not stopping. They will not quit doing this. But man, y'all risking it all for these pills and these designer drugs, man. And it's a damn shame. And I hate for it to be happening in our community, man. And think of it like this. I was born Basically, I was raised in the 90s. I was a little boy in the 90s. And the 80s and 90s were full of just a million drug stories, right? A million drug stories. Pretty much every kid I knew there was some kind of drug involved in their child, from black in the black community. I grew up in a black neighborhood. But me personally, my parents, they had drug addiction. That's why I grew up with my grandparents. And unfortunately, one of them wasn't able to beat it. And he's gone. But little did he know, or I'm sure he does know, but I thought about him all the time. Oh man, it'd be great to hang out with my dad, and it'd be this, that, and the third to hang out with my dad. I look at all my homies with dads. Yeah, I have a dad, father figure, but it's dad. And a lot of families, you grow up and you start developing complexes as if are you good enough? Are you good enough to make somebody choose you over drugs? I know that was some of the things that drove me was trying to prove that, what can I do, to make my parents want to clean up their act and watch me do these great things. That was one of my motivators. I'll be honest. It wasn't anything else, honestly. I just like playing video games and stuff, but drugs, in a sense, break up a family. They break up a family. You got family members stealing from you, but they family though. And then especially in the black community, we keep that in-house. Yeah, now the whole neighborhood gonna know if you do something. The whole neighborhood gonna know. But from a system standpoint and all that, nope, it's not gonna make it out there. Nobody's calling the police and all that extra stuff. Nobody's really doing that. We try and handle that kind of stuff in-house in our culture, it would appear. But that takes me to today. Now they have these drugs. Now they had the drugs back in the day where people were just wilding out, doing dumb shit, going to jail every few days, every few months or something, getting in and out of jail, that kind of thing. But now there's drugs that are killing people at like 30 years old and 25 and 21 and like hella young. And they have kids that are hella young. So now they have to grow up, not only with the stigma that like hey, my parent overdosed. Like, you have to live with that. Everybody wants this beautiful legacy for their family. Everybody wants that. I think everybody strives for that beautiful family story. I feel like everyone does that. But now it feels like there's a stigma. My parent passed away. It was getting high. They got too high. We don't want to restart this cycle again. To where, again, we talk about not putting ourselves in a position where the authorities have to be called. We keep talking about that because that's, in a sense, is what is getting us killed. Is that we continue to put ourselves in a situation where authorities have to be called, thus making a relatively dangerous situation life-threatening. So let's just we gonna keep everybody lifted up in prayer. Be careful. Stop buying drugs off of the street. Stop buying pills off of the street. Stop somebody putting on Snapchat or Facebook or something. I got them blah blah blahs and they got a handful of pills. You have if they didn't come from a doctor and from over the counter, you don't need to be taking that crap, man. Stop buying pills from people off the street because Lord knows if they are fake, if there's even just a little bit of fentanyl in them, you out of here. Just keep everybody lifted up in prayer. That's what we're going to do over this way. Thanks for watching. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. Don't forget, every Thursday, the full podcast is on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and mama, I'm on Spotify. Overall 99 ENT bring you videos from Friday all the way to Friday. So be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate it. Again, thank you so much.